refueling truck is on its way. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
All aircraft be advised, information Alpha now current, QNH1014.
Boarding requested. Fuel truck is in position. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Air Portugal 3216, looking to pick up our clearance to Lisbon Airport.
Air Portugal 3216, Fume delivery. Expect runway 25, SOSAC 5 Alpha departure. Squawk 4132.
SOSAC 5 Alpha departure. Squawk 4132. Air Portugal 3216.
Air Portugal 3216, read back correct. Contact ground 122.125 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 122.125 when ready. Air Portugal 3216.
Passengers boarding starting.
Itero 1563 at gate 303. Request pushback.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board. Please
Itero
place your large bags into
1563.
the overhead locker. Wheels first.
Pushback
Keep your small
approved.
items under
Face
the seat in front
northeast.
of you. These include laptops, handbags,
Pushback and
uniform
engine
loose
start
items of
approved.
clothing.
Face northeast. Itero
Once you have safely stowed your
1563.
cabin bag, please take your seat. We are currently refueling. Please ensure that your seatbelt remains unfastened until the seatbelt sign is turned on. This is a no smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Itero 1563. Taxi for departure. Itero 1563. Runway 25 taxi via Hotel November Golf November. Bravo, Bravo, Bravo. Runway 25 taxi via Hotel November Golf November. Bravo, Bravo, Bravo. Itero 1563. Request
To
pushback.
help us ensure a prompt departure, we kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all
Easy
remaining
78 Golf Bravo, Fiume ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face south.
This is a no smoking service. Thank you.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face south. Easy 78 Golf Bravo. Easy 78 Golf Bravo. Ready to taxi to the active. Easy 78 Golf Bravo, runway 25 taxi via Romeo. Charlie Foxtrot, Delta November, Bravo, Bravo, Bravo. Runway 25 taxi via Romeo. Charlie Foxtrot, Delta, November, Bravo, Bravo, Bravo. Easy 78 Golf Bravo. Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet at gate 313, request pushback. Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet, Fiume ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast. Pushback approved. Face northeast. Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet. With Air 71, contact Fiume Tower 127.625.
Over to Tower 127.625, Wizz Air 71.
Itero 2061, welcome to Fiumicino. No suitable gates for your aircraft exist at this airport. Taxi at pilot's discretion. Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet, request taxi. Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet, runway 25 taxi via Echo Golf, Golf, November Golf, November, Bravo, Bravo, Bravo. Runway 25 taxi via Echo Golf, Golf, November Golf, November, Bravo, 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 Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet. 625, Easy 78 Golf Bravo. Zero 079, ramp 222 taxi via Delta Hotel, Delta, Echo Golf, Echo Foxtrot, Echo Delta.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
222 via Delta Hotel, Delta, Echo Golf, Echo Foxtrot, Echo Delta, Zero 079.
Departure check completed. Airbus pin inserted. Locking gear.
Air Portugal 3216, gate 404, request pushback.
Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet, contact Fiume Tower 127.625. Contact Tower 127.625, Ryanair 9 Delta Juliet. Air Portugal 3216, Fiume ground pushback approved. Face northeast.
Pushback.
Release parking brakes.
Face northeast. Air Portugal 3216.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are two emergency exits at the rear, four in the middle, and two at the front of the cabin. Floor lights will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from the plane. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping.
Set parking brakes.
Take the life jacket under your seat.
Waiting for your confirmation for good engine start.
Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate on all the time. If it fails to
Hello everyone. So our cockpit preparation is done. So we're about ready to request taxi to the active. So welcome Airport Wings, Bravo Papa, Andrew. Thank you for coming. So let's call in to say our plane started correctly.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
All aircraft be advised information Bravo now current QNH1014.
So our co-pilot will be handling the comms.
Air Portugal 3216, taxi for departure.
Air Portugal 3216, runway 25 taxi via November Zulu, Golf, November Golf, November, Bravo, Bravo, Bravo.
So
25 taxi via November Zulu, Golf, November Golf, November, Bravo, 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 Air Portugal 3216.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
So we'll be taxiing out of 404, which is right here. So we'll be taxiing through Golf and then November Golf. Mike, where's November? Oh, it's on the other side. All right. So November right here, and then Bravo. And Bravo is this one. So Bravo all the way. Okay. Pretty a-okay. So our ground equipment is clear. Clear on the left, clear on the right, so let's move on. Parking brakes off. And we're moving. So let's make a right-hand turn there, then a left turn when available. Let's make sure we clear that Swiss. Should be alright, as long as we stay on the center line. Alright, so let's go back here to our checklist. So after start checklist, NTI says not required, ECAM status checked, no messages. Pitch trim is 2.0, let's do that. So let's move up to 2.0. There it is, 2.0. I was looking here, right there. So second turn to the right will be this one there. And rudder trim set to neutral. After start checklist complete, we'll perform the taxi checklist in a moment. So auto brakes to max. Let's turn right. There we go. So my friends came to watch. Alright, let's first left-hand turn. So I change a few things in the channel. Alright, this is November Golf as briefed. Alright, we got a big straight line here, so let's flight controls check. Full left, neutral, full right, neutral, full pitch up, neutral, full pitch down, neutral, full rudder right, neutral, full rudder left, neutral. Flight controls are checked. Taxi checklist, flight controls checked, flaps setting 1 checked. Let's continue all the way down here. We're over speeding a little bit. They'll make a right hand turn over there. So radar and weather predictions. So radar on. Weather prediction system is on. Let's make a right turn here and go all the way with that plane. The Transavia plane is there. This is where we'll be as well. We're going a little fast on the taxi, but let's not waste any more time. Engine mode to set to normal. ECAM memo takeoff test, no blue. Taxi checklist complete. Then we'll perform the lineup checklist and we'll be good to go. So we'll make the first left-hand turn here as we are cleared.
Air Portugal 3216, contact Fiumicino Tower 127.625.
Let's go to the tower, 127.625.
7.625. Air Portugal 3216.
So we got Bravo, Bravo. This is it. Let's hold here, get ready for departure. There's no rush. There we go. Alright, let me just prep things here for in a moment. So let's start, let's actually sit. Sozak 5 Alpha, it's the correct one, right? Can't remember which one they gave us. Sozak 5 Alpha, correct. Alright, so this is gonna be it. I'm gonna directly to 4RF 777 and then all the way down to Sozak. I believe there's a transition here, so here's hoping we can make it, because last time I departed I wasn't really sure I was doing the right thing. So let's contact departure. Let's contact tower for departure. Tower at Portugal 3216, ready for departure, runway 25.
Air Portugal 3216, Fiumicino Tower, wind 275 at 7.
Alright,
25, cleared for takeoff.
here we go.
Runway 25, cleared for takeoff. Air Portugal.
Let's line up checklist. So runway 25 check, TCAS is on and norm, confirmed. And we got packs 1 and 2, they're on. No traffic and no traffic. Let's make a left-hand turn here. We are clear for takeoff, so this will be a rolling takeoff. No delays. And here we go. 50%. And flex set, thrust set. V1 rotate. Positive rate. Brakes applied. Gear up. Thrust lever to climb.
Air Portugal 3216, contact Roma departures 130.9er.
Contact Roma departures 130.9er. Air Portugal 3216. Roma departures.
Fit speed check, flaps up.
16, 2,000 feet.
Air Portugal 3216, Roma departures identified, climb to flight level 180.
Climb to flight level 180. Air Portugal 3216.
Just follow flight path here. Something's wrong with my airspeed. Not sure what's going on, but we'll carry on. So we are cleared for flight level 180. Autopilot is engaged. So let's clear our plane. QNH set to standard. Now we're following a constraint here. We are exceeding the constraint airspeed, but it's probably because we need to turn left to the interception. Yep. We need to turn left to Asino. Actually turn right after Sozak. Yeah, that's correct. So our weather system is on. Next restriction should be 3,000 feet. We're way above that, passing 10,000 feet. This is the advantage of, I keep forgetting this. This is the advantage of the Neo. It flies like a rocket. So powerful, this plane. Climbed very fast out of that airport. So goodbye Italy, goodbye Rome. We'll take a look at our flight plan here. So we're following this procedure for now, all the way down to Sozak. And now we're leaving this, so we're already out of this standard instrument departure. So, we need to reset our electronic flight bag. This is a known bug. There we go. So this is our flight for today. We will be crossing the Mediterranean, over Sicily, then lots of sea, all the way to Spain, direct to Madrid, and then Lisbon as our destination. We'll insert the data for Lisbon in a moment. So after this turn here, the flight should be straight and should be forward. And so I'll turn off the seatbelt signs for our passengers. I need to remember to launch the chronometer when I'm initiating the takeoff roll. It's on me. I keep forgetting that for some reason. Need to put a memo, probably a post-it on my screen so I don't forget. It's a beautiful day, no weather reported. There's some significant standby. Going to Rome radar.
Center on 131.1. Air Portugal 3216.
Hello?
Rome radar. Air Portugal 3216 through flight level 156 for flight level 180 direct to Bidu.
Air Portugal 3216, Rome radar. Contact.
Alright.
Flight level 370.
370.
Climb to flight level 370. Air Portugal 3216.
And we're going.
Lufthansa 5 Hotel Uniform.
Alright. So like I was saying, there's no significant weather today. We got a segment here. Some thunderstorms, North Africa. There's another embedded thunderstorm here in Barcelona. Another one here. We'll probably see this one, the embedded thunderstorm up below. Actually, this is Barcelona, yeah. Barcelona is here, but this is Barcelona FIR. So yeah, there are going to be some significant weather here, but nothing too serious. We're actually making a right-hand turn before we hit it, so we should be all right. No significant weather. There's some rain here. These blobs are rain, but not around us. We should be all right. There's some weather here. We'll probably see some clouds over Spain, but other than that, look at that. Pure blue sky. Can't make him like this. We're still gonna use our weather radar, of course. Alright. So let's just confirm here. I'm not forgetting anything. Nope. Alright, let's request our weather for Lisbon. We're still awfully far. We just want to be sure we get everything till we get there. So first things first, let's check what we got as briefing for the landing. So we'll be landing at runway 20 via Upolo 3 Bravo. So let's input that. Runway 20 via Upolo 3 Bravo. There we go. Via upcat, that's absolutely normal for runway 20. Alright, this should complete our flight plan on the other page. There we go, it's now complete. We are having 2.8 fuel on board, that's below 3 tons. We probably spent too much fuel while taxiing, not sure, but we were supposed to have enough to get to our alternates, and I hope that's enough for our alternate, just in case Lisbon is shut down. What's our alternate here? Probably Faro. Yep, there it is, Faro. So 2.8, I think it's enough for Faro. What's the extra fuel for Faro here? Yeah, 1.3, so yeah, it's enough for Faro. We'll just be under 3 tons. we'll have the under 3 tons advisory at Lisbon, but if we need to diverge, we have enough fuel. Now let's request our weather for Lisbon so we can input our performance. So we're going to call our data link and request it for the METAR for Lisbon. There it is. So we got QNH 1018. Let's input that data. So QNH 1018 confirmed. We got our wind at 280 at 8 knots. And our temperature is 22, so colder today in Lisbon. And our radio should be 200. And we'll make a config 3 landing. Our V approach should be 142 knots, and our transition flight level will be 4,500 feet. As a reference, I'll always take the V approach speed very seriously, although generally speaking it should be V approach should be the approach speed plus 5, or depending on the SOPs. Each company has its own procedures. I'll just keep it a little above or at speed if there's no significant weather. So yeah, now we'll just fly and enjoy the beautiful weather. For now, we're expecting some rough weather over Spain. We'll see. This is a real-time flight. We can accelerate time, of course, but let's keep it as it is for now. It's not that long of a flight. Yep, my son was telling me to look outside because we got a lot of clouds here. So Portugal is going through some weird weather right now. But on our plane, everything looks dandy. Everything looks shiny and beautiful. Let's look outside for a bit. So we're making a few contrails, not much. This is our beautiful FS Labs A321neo. A lot of people ask, how do you know this is a Neo? I mean, looking outside. This is an old paint job, by the way. Now the most recent planes are all painted with Air Portugal. So TAP Portugal was an attempt to rename the airline, and yeah, it's Air Portugal, not TAP Portugal. That's been abandoned for some time. But you know, painting planes is expensive. It takes the planes out of the air, you know, not flying. The biggest difference. These are the first A321neos Air Portugal got, and so the telltale sign is that they don't have the famous Zorro mask. So the windows aren't painted black, and the wingtip, the winglets, the sharklets, they don't have the famous green and red stripes, and the engines don't say that they don't have the lettering saying A321neo. Now, those are the telltale signs for the first generation Neos TAP Portugal got. But how do you distinguish? If you look at this plane and A321ceo, so a regular Airbus 321, how do you distinguish them? Well, if it has a Zorro mask, then it's a given. But a lot of companies paint a Zorro mask in conventional engine aircraft, and that one of those airlines is Air Canada, for example. They have the Zorro mask on their own planes as a decoration. But so if I look at this plane as it is right now, how do I notice it's a Neo and not a regular plane? If there's no markings, the CEOs also have sharklets, so the sharklets aren't the telltale sign. There are some minor differences on the airframe, but they're very minor. You need to know the plane very well. So the way you can distinguish a Neo from the CEO just by looking at the plane are the engines. If you look at these engines, first of all, you have these two little winglets here, 1 and 2. Another difference is this bump that's always on the right side. So if you look at the engine on the other side, let me turn on track IR. So if you look at the other engine, it'll also have a bump on the right side, just as that one. And if you look at it from the side, it will have this aerodynamic support here, all right? So this is unique to the LEAP engines. And of course, if it's a LEAP engine, then it's a Neo. There's no other way. Other differences, well, I'm not going to push I'm not going to be exhaustive talking about, but the bigger differences are, of course, the engines. That's why they're called Neo. Neo stands for New Engine Option. And if you look at it, if you were able to see a Neo next to a CEO, the engines will also look bigger because they are bigger. The diameter, they have a bigger diameter, and they're set a little forward compared to the CEOs. So they're bigger and forwarder. So FS Labs, they did a good job modeling the plane, but I think they have some minor issues. You can see here there's a low polygon count, so it looks like it's boxed. It's not, but it looks like it's boxed. Same thing happens with the doors. It's hard to see it from here, but whoop, stand by. Ah, we're just hitting top of climb. All right. Ha, that was scary. Like I was saying, the doors, they have a low polygon count. It's hard to see from this angle, especially with the sun. But other than that, it's a very beautiful model of a plane. So this is Sicily we're reaching for the moment. Let's go in. So we're reaching Sicily. We're still a bit far from our destination. So we have significant weather report. So yeah, we already knew about this. So there are two SIGMETs actually. We got Barcelona FIR embedded thunderstorms, and the other is the same. One is for 1655 Zulu, the other for 1626. So top is flight level 350. We should be alright. We should be flying above it because we're at flight level 370. So we'll be 2,000 feet above it, hopefully. We can also see those thunderstorms here. So as you can see, there are some thunderstorms, embedded thunderstorms. Well, these are just rain detected, but yeah, rain and turbulence. So yeah, we'll be passing between them, but we'll certainly see clouds both in Spain and Portugal. But for now, look at that. Sicily is an island in the Mediterranean. It looks really beautiful. I know a couple of Sicilians, and they're very proud of their heritage as Sicilians. They of course they consider themselves as Italian, but they feel like they're a different breed of Italians, which is alright, as long as you get along. So, seatbelt signs off. We can also leave the no portable devices to auto. Not a lot of people respect that anyway, so. So, how much time to Lisbon? Asks Bravo Papa. That's easy to say, because we can go here to our flight plan, and it will tell you that we'll be landing at 2037 UTC, so in about 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes, something like that. So yeah, we can accelerate time, of course. This can be very boring just to look at instruments. I try to keep it interesting, but a lot of people just come in on the takeoff and on a landing, and then I completely understand. But for those that want a relaxing moment, there's nothing like this. I can't really sleep on the plane, but I understand why people do it. It's just this whoosh sound. I can take you a tour on the cabin in a moment. That's just this whoosh sound. If there's some minor vibration, it also helps, like the vibration through the seats they're pleasant if it's not severe turbulence, of course, and just enjoy the view. So let's take a stroll down the cabin. First of all, let's unlock the door, and now let's have a little tour through the cabin. So let's open the door. Don't mind the passengers, they'll pop up. This is a GSX thing. Here they go. So let's go move forward. So these ladies here are beautiful flight attendants. They're wearing TAP Portugal uniforms, by the way. Let's get on their eyesight. Too much makeup, I'd say. And this is our cabin. Okay, let's move forward. So this cabin isn't accurate. FS Labs is trying to implement different cabin layouts, but currently they only have this one. So it's like single class cabin. It's not accurate. TAP Portugal flies often either a two class or a 3 class flight. So 2 class should be economy plus, and either economy plus and business, or economy plus and first class. I don't think, sorry, economy, business, and first class. I don't think the A321 per se, the Neos, have this all of them have this configuration, but a lot of them do. So this is our cabin here. You can see the cockpit down there. We're still hearing the comms, of course, because I walked down the cabin listening to my ADC. So let's take a look at the wing. Oh, these guys are sitting in me there. Look at this. Yeah, GSX can't guess the seat's position. So let's sit over here. So this is what regular passengers see. So, yeah, look at that. Beautiful landscape.
Agent 5 Romeo X-ray through flight level 206 for flight level 170.
And if you want to go back to the cockpit, you just go here and press reset. Whoops, what's going on? I think I may have pressed the wrong keyboard button. Fortunately, the plane was trimmed, and so no issue. Sorry about that.
Expect Exudo 1 Foxtrot, runway 08, Ryanair 76 Zulu Kilo.
So, yeah.
Contact Marseille Control 119
The fun bit should begin once we reach Spain. So, we still have some time. We're about, let's see how much time we still got to Spain. So the first steer point for Spain should be
Giano Tree November, runway 07, ready for descent, Ryanair 9 Kilo Bravo.
the Valencia VOR. So how much time till Valencia?
Descend to flight level 190, Ryanair 9 Kilo Bravo.
So we should be in Valencia in 1 hour, more or less, give or take. 1 hour and 1 minute. So true fun will begin in 1 hour. If we hit the storm area, probably won't.
Uniform Golf, Rome radar, radar contact. Rome radar, Itero 1793.
Oh, can hear the toilet. Thanks for that pleasant sound.
Itero 1793, Rome
Doors locked. Let's lower the shades here. This could be better animation, I'd say. The A350 has a small glare. Sorry, a small. What's this called? Windshade, sunshade. Sorry, the 350 has a small sunshade here in the center. It makes sense because in this situation the sun is right there. There's a huge gap between shades. If I lower mine, I won't make much of a difference. So yeah, look at that. And this is a more or less fixed position. I mean, you can move it around, but not by much. So something like this. But this will also cover some of the overhead switches, and so it's not desirable. Another great advantage on the A350 is that the sunshades come from the between the windows, so they descend like a blind, like this. So which it's better than this pivoted system, I would say. But whatever, we can live with that. So we're leaving Sicily. So actually we'll be departing Italian airspace, not yet, but down in the Mediterranean Sea, a few miles ahead. So it seems that guys had to leave, so I'm pretty much alone.
France Soleil 19 Victor Romeo, contact Marseille Control 124.725, bye-bye.
Anyway, it is what it is.
France Soleil 19
On radar, Transavia for 1 Lima. Good evening. Descending via Zibbletree Alpha. Flight level 338. Transavia for 1 Lima. Rome radar identified.
Rome radar with Air 3363. Good evening. Flight level 140.
Air 3363, Rome radar identified. Climb to flight level 350.
Climb to flight level 350 with Air 3363.
Rome radar, Itero 2109, flight level 332. Itero 2109, Rome radar, good evening, radar contact. Continue climb to flight level 350. Continue climb to flight level 350, Itero 2109. Ryanair 46 Tango Zulu, Oxuda 1 Foxtrot, runway 08. Report ready for descent.
Oxuda 1 Foxtrot. Runway 08 ready for descent. Ryanair for 6 Tango Zulu.
Arabia Merak 437, Rome radar, identified. Air Portugal 3216, contact Marseille Control 119.825.
Contact Marseille Control 119.825. Air Portugal 3216, have a good evening. Marseille Control, Air Portugal 3216, flight level 370.
Air Portugal 3216. Marseille Control. Radar contact.
So I noticed that my flight progress isn't working. I apologize for that. Not sure what's going on there. It's simply not connected to the simulator. I'll try to reconnect, see if that changes anything. So let's try again. Apologize for that. See if it picks up the info. There we go. Now it's working. I think I didn't load it properly, not sure. I did mess up with the title. It's 3216, not 4216. Alright, now it's correct. So we're about one fourth of the trip. It's what you get for not having people watching and complaining about something, right? When someone's watching, there's always someone complaining about something, saying, "Ooh, this and that is not right. This and that should be. I'm not getting the flight progress," or something like that. It's completely understandable. So, same joke all the time, and I apologize. So what most of the Airbus captains, when they're asked, well, what's so good about your plane? They all answer with this. At first, when I saw this, way back in the day when I first saw an Airbus A320 cockpit, a long time ago, I thought, what's the use? What's the point of that table? It sounds stupid to have a table on a cockpit. Well, let me tell you, when food comes, or when you want to use your laptop, or when you need to do something like write something, this is extremely useful. You have no idea. Because I've been to other cockpits like the Boeing 737, and I also been to a 777, and the only way for you to write something is by moving to your side. At least in the 777, you will have a small little area here where the CFB is, but in modern planes, this is what happens. Most of the times you'll have an electronic flight bag on the side. So that little small table, you can barely see it behind this CFB. There's this platform here. That's where that small table, it's more like a clip holder would be. That's on the Boeing or the Boeing 777 on the 737. The pilot will just have to squeeze their papers here and write it down. You have no idea how useful this table can be. And then the food. On the Boeing, in order to get your food, you need to push your seat back because you will have the huge flight yoke on the very center. So it will be occupying this area here. And so there's no way to put your tray and putting on your lap. All right, it could work, but it's still hard to eat with a tray holding it on your knees or something. Well, you can do it on a table here. It's very useful. What I don't like is that on the A350 there's also a keyboard embedded here. So let's say you're eating and you're used to typing stuff for your FMC here on that keyboard. You can't eat and have the keyboard at the same time. So why would you do that anyway? But you know, it's a small thing, but it's relevant, I would say. And you can't use the table with the keyboard out. Another interesting feature, I'm not sure this is exclusive. The table is almost, I'm not sure other companies or airlines have it, but the table is like an Airbus hallmark, and all planes, all modern Airbuses have this table. Another thing, but this one I think I've seen in other planes, is the footrests. So you might think they don't look comfortable. They're really, really comfortable. Where you place your feet here, they're really comfortable, and you can easily just pull them up. I don't think other airplanes have it, so these two features, I've seen pilots use it more often than you think. So this is where I most of the time sat when I flew in the cockpit. This is the jump seat. Some planes have two. I don't think this one has two jump seats. Let's confirm. No, just the one. I flew in airplanes with just one jump seat like this, and others with two. When there's two, I could take a friend with me to the cockpit. When there's just one, I would need to sit alone, but with my fellow pilots. It's amazing how generous some pilots are. Not all of them, of course. It's not part of the trademark, but some pilots can be so generous in terms of knowledge and sharing, and I learned so much flying in the cockpit just by, you know, asking questions. Sometimes they're not really the right questions, but they'll always tell you, well, the ones I interacted with, there are no wrong questions, because, you know, it's not every day you're in a complex cockpit like this one. Unfortunately, I never flew the Neos. I always flew the CEOs, and I actually flew a couple of oldies, A321s, A319s. They're excellent planes overall, and don't let people tell you otherwise. No matter how old they are, the CEOs are still great planes. The Neos are just an option, and the engines are quite good, but overall they're the same logics. They have the same laws and ease of use. I used to be a huge anti-Airbus back in the day, way back in the day. So, but I changed my mind because I started flying Airbuses regularly, and I figured out, yeah, these are excellent planes to fly. Very easy to understand them. I mean, if you go deep, they're just as complex as any Boeing, you know, or Embraer. All airplanes are complex depending on how deep you want to go. But what I would say is that the Airbus logics, and some of them are life-saving actually. They allow the pilot to just focus on monitoring more than just hands-on approach, always hands on the stick, you know. Most of the times you can just sit back and think, whereas in Boeing airplanes you're always hands-on. And well, the last flight that I had in my channel here was with the 737-700, and I forgot a lot of things. I forgot to turn on the bleed air, for example, which is automatic on this plane. On the 737, there's a panel here for the bleed air. So after you turn on your engines, which is a manual startup system, you need to bleed air to start the engines, just like any other commercial aircraft. But on the 737, you have to manually shut down the ducts for each engine and turn on the APU duct to pressurize the pneumatic system. But after you turn on your engines, then you need to revert that, opening the what's it called, the valve for each engine, and pressurize the plane with engine power or engine pneumatic power. I completely forgot to turn on both bleed airs for each engine, and I also forgot to turn on the air conditioning packs, which isn't that serious. But the situation was that after about 15,000 feet or something, the plane started blaring cabin pressurization because it wasn't pressurized, and I had to fly all the way to my destination, which was Rome, with a warning for passenger oxygen on, because the masks, we couldn't see it of course, but the masks just fell on the passengers. The plane was depressurized. But after turning on the bleed air and turning on the packs, the plane was repressurized, so cabin altitude was no longer an issue. But that was a mishap, and it occurred because, you know, I fly Airbuses so regularly that those systems are pretty much automated that I completely forgot to turn the bleed air back on. It's counterproductive to fly one plane and then the next week fly another. Pilots don't do that. You know, you'll never see an Airbus qualified pilot flying a Boeing, or the other way around. Even if they're qualified, let's say I'm qualified today for the Airbus, it doesn't make sense tomorrow to fly the Boeing. I'll need to go through the qualification for the Boeing. And after I gone through that qualification, even though I had the Airbus qualification, I'm not authorized to just go back and fly Airbus again. I need to re-qualify on Airbus and so forth. So every time you change planes, you need to qualify. You need to go through the course, the type rating. And that's an advantage for the Airbuses, because you can fly an Airbus A320 family plane and it will share the qualifications for the 19 and the 21. It will not share for the bigger jets like the A330, A340, A350, but you will still be able to cross-train, so most of these logics and systems will be the same. The only big difference are the performances, the weights, and other stuff for... And if you fly the A380, you'll have 2 more engines. But, for example, the A330, Airbus A330neo, will share the same type rating as the A350. Granted, you can't just switch cockpits, but the type... Let's call Madrid.
Contact Marseille Control 123.
Marseille.
Air Portugal 3216. Bye-bye.
Frequency change.
Marseille Control, Air Portugal 3216. Good evening. Flight level 370.
Air Portugal 3216, Marseille Control identified.
Like I was saying, you can't just you'll operate the type rating. That you can't just fly today the 330 and tomorrow the 350. You still need to go through a fresh conversion. I think it's called a conversion course. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure you need to do something. I think it's simulator time or something like that. But the planes are fairly different, of course, in terms of this. The 330neo looks pretty much like this one. The throttle is a bit different, but it's almost the same, and of course the cockpit is wider. But other than that, it's still a mix between CRT TFT instruments and some analog systems. That's like the analog CDU. Well, it's digital, but the keys are analog, if you know what I mean. Whereas the 350 and 380 are touchscreens, interactive touchscreens. So there's still a conversion course to go through, but you can still keep the type rating from the 330 to fly the 350, which is awesome. And throughout the Airbus family, from the A319 to the A380, the logics are the same, and all you need to do for the type ratings for each aircraft is a smaller type rating for each aircraft, and that saves so much time for the airlines to train their pilots. And if you want to upgrade your career from the A320 to the A321 long range, the A330, the A350, the A380, or the A340 if the airline still has it, then it's just a matter of conversion, type rate conversion. There's no sharing between the A320 family and the A330, A340 family, of course. You need to make a different type rating, but I think it's shorter. Because of the commonality. The commonality of systems, of logics, of laws. Some planes even share the between them. They share the SOPs, so they don't differ that much. But you can't do that with the Boeing. Type rating is 737 has absolutely nothing to do with the 777 or the 787 or the 747 or the 767. Boeing made their planes very different from each other. I think the only commonality of type ratings would be with a 757 and a 767. They would share the same type rating, but that was like 1 in 10 Airbuses. Sorry, 1 in 10 Boeing airplanes developed. So all of that to say, if you're good at flying one plane and you want to fly a second plane, always be good at just one. So if you love Airbus, fly the 320 family, which isn't very different between variants. But if you want to fly the Boeing, for example, you better not fly them both. You better fly one at a time. Like 1 month you fly the Airbus, and the other month you fly the Boeing, if you really are into simming and you want to test them out. But even that is risky, I would say. That's the reason I'm not flying the Boeings that much, because I don't want to lose my my grip on the Airbuses, which are the planes that I really enjoy flying. I would really love to test the iFly 737 MAX. People say a lot of good things about it, but I'm not going to get into that. First of all, I can't afford all modules and all add-ons, so I purchased 2 in the last few months, and it was very expensive. One was the A350. In my country, I had to pay 92 euros. That's a lot of money for that plane, and it was so buggy when it was released. Such an expensive and very risky bet on my side. The second one was this one, the FS Labs. Yes, I'm not given modules to fly. I need to buy them. And it's good to buy them, because that way I can speak freely of my purchase as a customer. I know a lot of people are sponsored. I don't blame them. I mean, I would love to have all these planes in airports and systems to fly. It's pretty cool. If you don't need to pay for them, then even better. But yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm a small channel. I don't pretend to be big. I don't pretend to be any more savvy than anybody else. I'm not trying to say that they got freebies. It's up to them. I too would like to have those freebies. Let's change Marseille control.
Center on 120.75, Air Portugal 3216. Marseille control, Air Portugal 3216, flight level 370.
Air Portugal 3216, Marseille control, radar contact. Arabia Merak 338,
All right.
contact Barcelona Central 1.45.
So still don't. The radar doesn't have enough range to see, and the weather system doesn't project that far. So if there's weather up there, we would not see it anytime. I think we'll only see it when we're about 100 miles or so. But I'm expecting that about over here, this is Valencia, so anywhere in this vicinity we should have some significant weather. Not sure if a storm, thunderstorm, but we'll definitely see something. I'm gonna look through my real weather charts to confirm that. Yeah, we should have some weather formations to the right, so somewhere over there to the right. We're not seeing anything so far, but somewhere over there we should have some weather coming in. Whether or not that will evolve to turbulence, we shall see. We're expecting runway 20 in Lisbon. Lisbon weather is not that good. There we go, being handed off to Barcelona.
Contact Barcelona Center 119.45. Air Portugal 3216. Bye-bye.
Let's change it to night charts. They look better.
Barcelona Center, Air Portugal 3216, flight level 370.
Air Portugal 3216, Barcelona Center, identified.
So we just identified there's nothing significant. Let's check our ACAR system, see if we have any more messages. No. So significant meteorology is still the same. It's valid till set a duration. There's no duration, but it's valid from there it is, valid through 1655 to 7 o'clock. So between, I would say 5 and 7 o'clock. So it's still, I think we passed. Yeah, we're gonna pass it, but we'll see if we get another SIGMET, because this is about to go. This is UTC time, so this one is about to expire. So we'll see if we get another one. We probably will, because I'm looking at the weather charts, the real weather charts, and I'm seeing the storms are still there. So we'll be on the fringe of those storms, by the way, just circling, almost circling around them. We do have a strong nose wind, 48 knots, slightly crossed from 299er, so coming this way. Nothing too fancy. And we know that the thunderstorms have a ceiling of flight level 350, and we're at 370, so shouldn't be a problem. So this is what's this island? I'm sorry if my geography isn't the best. Oh, this is Mallorca, Palma de Mallorca, and this must be Menorca, where we're overflying Menorca, and this should be the big Mallorca island. There's a nice airport here. I may come here one day. I need to purchase the Mallorca airport though, and I don't have it. I will make a flight here in I'll make a flight here offline to see if there's the airport. See if the airport there's one here, at least one. Yeah, there's just one, the one. So if we, I'll make an offline flight here to see if the default scenery is any good, and if it is, I'll make a flight here. If not, I'll need to wait a bit longer to purchase another add-on. So I may come later after I purchase the Mallorca airfield add-on, if it's any good, of course. So there's Mallorca Island. When we talk about these islands, these vacation islands, we think of them as small islands, but they're actually pretty big. Well, big enough to have an international airport, but these are huge islands. Mallorca is about somewhere between 2 and 3 times the size of Madeira. I think even bigger than that. Probably 3 times the size of Madeira. And we can see that right here. Well, 2 times the size of Madeira, yeah. 2 times is acceptable. So there's the storms over here. Those we will never catch, but there are a few here. And there's some cloud formations on the north side, so we'll be seeing them to our right side. Not yet, but we most likely will. If, of course, weather depiction works correctly. Sometimes it doesn't. Huh. The other Airbuses have a switch here. This one does not. The switch is probably embedded in the knob. So this is a dimmer, but the other Airbuses, they have a switch here to turn it off or on, of course. This one, the switch is probably embedded in the knob.
Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel, flight level 369er.
So we're still 2/3, 2/4, 2/4, fourth. It's not easy to say in my language because we don't, with my accent, because in Portuguese we don't have the th. So 3/4 of the way. That's more like it. Wow, look at that view. This is the Mallorca island. It's really amazing. Look at that. The approach is also very cool. Somewhere over there, there's the airport. I think it's there. This approach is amazing as well, because you come down the bay and it's an amazing approach. So you come down here through the bay, down here through the bay and into the airport. It's really amazing. I need to check if number one, if the default airport is any good. Number two, if it's not good, then maybe think about purchasing it. Not yet, not right now, I can't afford it, but probably next month. And I will make a flight to Mallorca, probably coming from the UK. I know my British friends, they love to go to Mallorca. It's either Mallorca or Madeira. They always go there on their vacations because it's a beautiful destination, and both of them are. But there it is. There's the Mallorca. It looks detailed. I need to check if it's any good. It looks detailed. Maybe I can make an offline flight there just to check it out to see if it's any good. In terms of what default scenery can be, of course. And if it is, then I'll schedule a flight down here. I'm thinking British Airways A350. We'll see. Or Iberia. Iberia A350. Yeah, that will be a good idea. If not, probably Jet 2 or EasyJet A321s. Yeah, the airport looks detailed enough. We'll see. I don't like flying to plain-looking airfields because the immersion gets lost. It's not like I'm pretentious or anything, it's just that there's a smaller airfield right here. Probably a military airbase. I don't really know this area that well. I did make a flight to Barcelona. One of my older videos. I think, let me check. If I've not removed the, let me confirm that. Nope, actually no. I did make the flight, but I didn't record it. Yeah, Madeira, Frankfurt. Yeah, I didn't record it, but well, I can make a Barcelona. I have the Barcelona scenery. I can make a Barcelona flight. Barcelona is a complex airport to make the approach. The approach plates are extremely complex. I mean, once you get the grip on them, they're easy to follow, but until you understand them, of course, pilots do this for a living, so they need to understand it. I mean, as a virtual pilot, yeah, we're too far to get any details, unfortunately. It's a big airport, though. There's 2 runways, 1 on each side. This smaller airfield, where is it? It's not enough for big commercial jets, I suppose. It's not charted, at least not on this chart I have here. Oh, let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. It's charted. Let me zoom in. It has to be charted because it could be used as an alternate. So this is Saint-Bonnet. So this is probably an airfield, not a military airfield. So this is the Palma airfield, and this is the Saint-Bonnet. I think it's civilian. There's another one, San Alberti. This looks like a very small field. Look at that. They're all aimed at mainland, so probably the dominant winds. Is there any other airfield? Mercadet. Nope, too far in. Yeah, this is another smaller field. Only one active runway apparently. No, yeah, only one. Very small. This could be for just ultralight planes or civilian aviation. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the international airport. Where is this? Beni Salem. Beni Salem. Another small field. Yeah, very small. Just one runway. Well, definitely Mallorca is the main hub. So if I ever fly here, it will be for the Mallorca aerodrome, airfield, airport, whatever. So coming down to Valencia. We're almost halfway. So in the near future, Lisbon Airport is being upgraded. So hopefully someone in the community will make a new Lisbon Airport. And of course, in the far future, the Portuguese government wants a new airport. Let's not wait standing, shall we? So we got a company message. Let's see what we got. Probably Sigmet. Yep, again, Sigmet. So this one's valid through... Actually, it has expired again. So it's 1900 hours, unless it's 1900 hours local. Again, significant meteorology. We got embedded thunderstorms observed. Still flight level 350, so... Again, not a factor in theory for us. We might get some turbulence. We still got some nose wind, 40 knots nose wind. I hope once we cross Spain, these winds will become tailwinds, but that may not happen. So there's Spain right there. There's the coast of Spain. Valencia is right in front of us. To the right, somewhere over there, probably more like over there, there's Barcelona. LEMD, we can actually see right here. So we press airport. So LEMD, somewhere over there. So right to our 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that. Valencia right in front, and all the fancy airports through Spain. So this is I think the biggest stretch of sea we're crossing, Mediterranean Sea. No, actually it's between Sicily and Mallorca. That's the biggest stretch of sea. Didn't felt like it though. Feels like we're forever out of Mallorca into mainland Spain though. Sometimes what it feels is not what we get. All these yellow dots are other planes. These are AI generated. We've been having some issues with AI generated traffic being spawned at co-altitude, so it's same altitude as we are. Let's hope we don't get that today. So I'm going to make a small break. I'll leave the plane flying, of course. Consider this the captain going to the washrooms, and I'll be right back.
3933. Berlin 3933. Expect Seagam 3 Tango with the Seagam transition. Runway 12. Expect Seagam 3 Tango with the Seagam transition. Runway 12, Berlin 3933. Aeronova 1048, Barcelona Center. Expect a Duxo 2 Delta. Runway 32 left.
Expect a Duxo 2 Delta. Runway 32 left. Aeronova 1048.
Eurowing 6 Charlie Kilo. Contact Bordeaux Control 121.25. Center on 121.25. Eurowing 6 Charlie Kilo.
So as expected, clouds. So we are reaching the coast of Spain. We're still feet wet, but coming in the coast of Spain in clouds. Yeah, totally expected. So the bigger clouds to worry about will be on our right side, flying through Valencia. We'll make a right-hand turn. We'll have to keep an eye out to the right side. Winds are chilling a bit. I expect them to keep on turning with us, so I expect them to come around to the right side of coming from the right side from the worst cloud formations. We can barely see the coastline of Spain. Don't know if you can see it. It's right there. So we're almost to the right hand turn. Then will be a smooth ride all the way to Madrid center. And then after Madrid we'll carry on to the Portuguese border. So we are past the point of no return, so to speak. We're past the half point of our trip. You can see it here. So we departed Italy, Rome, then we are more than halfway to Portugal, or like the Italians would say, Portogallo. Such a beautiful language, Italian, by the way. It makes your tongue roll. Portogallo. Beautiful. Ferrari. Maserati. Lancia. Leonardo da Vinci. I'm not mocking, I really like the Italian language. It's very similar to Portuguese. I mean, both languages come from Latin, of course, but we can close our shades here. No longer need these. Just occupying space. So the sun is almost setting. It's right here. You can see the coast here.
QNH1015, expect the ILS extrusion with 06, getting left transition.
Still have plenty of sunlight till we reach Lisbon. So clouds not that menacing. We do have some very nasty cloud turbulence, at least to our left side, but looking at that direction I don't see it. Let me enforce my weather system here, because it could be the case that it's just not been correctly updated.
Descend to flight level 080 and Nostrum Air 40 Echo Quebec.
So yeah. Seems okay. See if the distance.
Europa 6078, contact Sevilla Center 118.275 bye-bye. Contact Sevilla Center 118.275, Europa 6078.
Nah. There used to be an option in Active Sky to change the weather depiction distance, but it's no longer available, so let's see if I force this, will it draw weather? No. Ah, there it is. Yes, it did. Still not menacing enough, but seems like sometimes Active Sky just forgets to update weather, which bothers me a lot. And all of a sudden the clouds just pop up. Might as well use Microsoft Flight Simulator default weather. I think Active Sky became a bit of a disappointment to me with this version. Let's make a right-hand turn in Valencia, which we are overflying right now. And then we should have another hour till we cross Madrid. So, yeah. No changes, significant changes that is, to the flight plan. Weather looks pretty stable aside from that huge cloud down there.
Descend to 5,000 feet, QNH1015 Nostrum Air 40 Echo Quebec. Nostrum Air 40 Echo Quebec.
Nostrum Air 40 Echo Quebec. Descend to 3,000 feet.
Descend to 3,000 feet, Nostrum Air 40 Echo Quebec.
Nostrum Air 40 Echo Quebec. Clear direct to nav. Cross the Navigraph above 3,000 feet. Clear ILS X-ray runway 06.
Clear direct DMEV across DMEV at or above 3,000 feet. Cleared ILS X-ray runway 06, Nostrum Air 40 Echo Quebec.
Portugal 3216. Contact Sevilla Center 118.275.
Contact Sevilla Center 118.275. Air Portugal 3216. Have a good evening. Sevilla Center, Air Portugal 3216. Good evening. Fly level 370.
Air Portugal 3216, Sevilla Center, radar contact. 7 Whiskey Hotel, Sevilla Center, expect Bailen 1 Alpha, Rango 12. Expect Bailen 1 Alpha, runway 12, Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel.
This is just me messing with the active sky settings to see if we can get better cloud depictions, but apparently it just cleaned the weather when we clearly have weather clouds to our left and to our right side. Weather clouds, I mean clouds, period. Turbulence. So yeah, I don't know what active sky is doing, to be honest. It's weird.
Europa 6078, descent to flight level 190.
Descent to flight level 190, Europa 6078.
Yeah. Sad to see that I probably wasted my money with active sky. I mean, look at this. No clouds whatsoever, and we do have turbulent weather from the left and on the right, and it just doesn't depict absolutely anything. Let's turn on live weather, see what changes, if anything. Because I think active sky just overrides. Oh, yeah, active sky just overrides the weather. Doesn't matter what I put here. Too bad. Really think I wasted my money with active sky. And if people from active sky are looking at this, I'm not happy. Not happy at all. If I could show you what I'm looking at in the weather map on the application, the active sky application, it's depicting the clouds to the front, so somewhere up ahead. I'm not sure where these clouds are coming from, or where Navigraph gets them, but they look like coming from NOAA, so the National Weather Observation Office in the United States, and that's usually a fairly good source. So you see,
Europa 6078, descent to flight level 140.
they are correct.
Flight level 140, Europa 6078.
Although when I turn them off, they seem to not go away. So this could be hard printed into the charts. Yeah, look at that. They're probably hard printed. So let's turn everything off. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with these charts here. These weather charts. So maybe active sky isn't that wrong. In any case, we should have clouds up ahead, and we're seeing none. That could be the cloud draw distance, but again, there's no option for that. Unless it's a flight simulator option. So let me confirm this real quick. If there's something about the cloud distance. So global rendering, terrain, shadow, texture, volumetric clouds are set to ultra. 200 level of detail, objects level of detail. Not sure that's anything. Oh well. Yeah, there's no clouds here. Should be, because I'm pretty sure there are thunderstorms in the Barcelona area, but we don't see anything. This is not Barcelona, however, this is Valencia. Actually, we're closer to Madrid now than Valencia. Map is bugging out. The map is bugged. What are we gonna do?
Switch to Whiskey Sevilla Center, expect Domingo to Charlie Erango 04.
Yeah, the map is completely lost it.
Runway 04, Swift 22 Whiskey.
Let's move on. Let's update Lisbon weather. It's waiting for the METAR. There it is. So let's update our performance. So 1018, no, doesn't change. Temperature is now 21 as expected, and winds are 260 at 9. So 260 at 9. So we'll keep the rest.
Europa 6078, contact Madrid approach 131.175.
What you're hearing in the background is the flight attendants. Oh, it just finished. They're basically telling the passengers if they want to buy beverages, blah 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 blah. You know the drill. Selling you stuff you don't need.
Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel, descent to flight level 230. Descend to flight level 230, Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel.
So we're almost 3/4 of the way, fourths of the way.
Ryanair 699 Golf. Good evening. Flight level 310.
I'm noticing that
Ryanair 6000 Golf, Sevilla Center, radar contact.
on the top you got the flight progress. I need to move the destination a little bit to the left. It's being cut off. I can't do that exactly right now, but I will do it. for the next live stream.
Swift to Whiskey, Domingo to Charlie, Rango 04. Report ready for descent.
Domingo to Charlie, runway 04, ready for descent. Swift 22 Whiskey.
So this is our top of descent
Descent to 10,000 feet.
after Charlie Charlie Sierra.
Descent to 10,000 feet. Swift 22 Whiskey.
Still a bit to go.
Swift to Whiskey QNH 1016, expect the ILS X-ray Rango 04 with the Logna transmission.
So we'll make this weird approach to Lisbon. I'll explain once we get there. If nothing changes, we'll be arriving at runway 20 via Upo.
Alba Star 9 to Papa. Contact Barcelona Center 119 decimal 45.
Contact Barcelona Center 119.45 Alba Star 91 to Papa. Bye bye.
Vueling 1 Sierra Papa, Sevilla Center, expect by entry H Orangu 27. Expect bail entry Echo, runway 27, Vueling 1 Sierra Papa. Vueling 1 Sierra Papa, you were assigned flight level 350. It shows you at flight level 339. Climb to flight level 350. Wilco, climb to flight level 350, Vueling 1 Sierra Papa. Alpine 16 8 November, contact Barcelona Center 119 decimal 45.
Contact Barcelona Center 119er decimal 45, Alpine 69 Echo November. Sevilla Center, Ryanair 15 Uniform Hotel, flight level 350.
Ryanair 15 Uniform Hotel, Sevilla Center identified. Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel, descent to flight level 140. Descent to flight level 140, Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel. Vueling 1 Sierra Papa, Bailen 38, Rangoon to 7. Report ready for descent. Bailen 3 Echo, runway 27 ready for descent. Vueling 1 Sierra Papa. Vueling 1 Sierra Papa, descent to 2131 feet, QNH 1015. Descend to 2131 feet, Vueling 1 Sierra Papa. Vueling 1 Sierra Papa, descend to 2100 feet, QNH 1015. Descend to 2100 feet, QNH 1015, Vueling 1 Sierra Papa. Swift to Whiskey, descend to 6000 feet, QNH 1016.
Descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1016, Swift 22 Whiskey.
Sevilla Center, Portugalia 1095, good evening, flight level 369er. Portugalia 1095, Sevilla Center identified. Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel, contact Málaga approach 125.955. Contact Malaga approach 125.955, Ryanair 37 Whiskey Hotel. Ryanair 699 Golf, Sevilla Center, expect to Pulo 3 Bravo, Rangoon to 0. Expect you Pulo 3 Bravo, runway 20, Ryanair 699 Golf.
Wow, look at that sunset. If only we could get sunsets like these at 37,000 feet daily. I really envy the job of a pilot. It's not always easy. But I mean, look at that. Amazing. Really is amazing. It's not like we can't see sunsets from the ground, but that's something else. It's moments like these, and I'm just flying virtually, but it's in moments like these that I know for a fact that if I had the opportunity to be a pilot, every day would be an adventure for me. Especially if I flew the planes I love. Well, not all pilots can be lucky to get to an airline and fly for a living, but I mean, look at that. If you're a passenger and you see this, it's already amazing. But as a pilot, you're not looking through that little porthole in the back. You have this panoramic view of the sky, and it's like the golden hour at 37,000 feet. There aren't many better things in these, I say. I mean, there are great things in life. Let's not get too philosophical here, but there are better things in life than enjoying a sunset. But not that many. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, let's call our passengers back to their seats, because we're about to reach our point of descent. We should be given a clearance soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to turbulence, could you please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt?
It's not due to turbulence. I'm talking about the annunciator. Talking about turbulence because I turn on the seatbelt signs.
Civiliar Center, Ryanair 85 Romeo November. Good evening. Flight level 320.
So I do this at about 40 nautical miles because I tend to forget about it. And according to some companies' SOPs, depends on how far you are from your top of descent. You should turn on your seatbelt signs so that people can start walking back to their seat in case they're in the toilet. They know it's time to go back to their seat. It has nothing to do with any kind of safety hazard or something. It's just to do it so far away from the top of descent. I mean, of course, you want to clear the aisle for the flight attendants to move up and down the airplane to prepare for landing, to make sure everybody has their seatbelt signed, the seatbelts on. I mean. So you might as well just turn it on. We're still ways off from Portugal, but we're coming down to our final moments in this flight. This is Rome Fiumicino Airport, or Leonardo da Vinci Airport, to Lisbon Airport, formerly known as Aeroporto Portela. Now it's Aeroporto Humberto Delgado. Weather at Lisbon is mild, nothing serious. We'll call for a new METAR. It should be one of our last METARs, if not the last METAR I'm requesting. The idea being that weather doesn't change that often, that frequent, to ask for too many METARs. We're just updating our info. So we got lower temperatures, so QNH 1018. Let's go back to the performance page. 1018 temperature is now 20, and 280 at 8. All the other stuff should remain. So we asked it with a 20-minute distance, almost 30-minute distance, and the changes are pretty granular. Let's prepare our approach checklist. I'm not going to run it, I'm just going to confirm what to set up. Okay, Hupul, 3B, runway 20.
Kilo Tree Bravo, runway 20, Air Portugal 3216.
Hupul 3 Bravo, runway 20, checked. So we're just confirming to the ATC. Now, after we make the turn out of Charlie Sierra, we'll call for ready to descend. We still have a some nose wind over here, so we're still being affected by the weather. No, still no clouds. I mean, there were some wisps previously. Oh, there's the moon. Look at that. Beautiful. Moon looks absolutely gorgeous. It's coming from the southwest. Southeast, sorry. So, like I was saying, the top of the descent is coming up, so we're going to call ready for descent.
Air Portugal 3216, ready for descent.
Air Portugal 3216, Upulo 3 Bravo, Rango 20, descent to flight level 230.
230.
Kilo Tree Bravo, runway 20, descend to flight level 230, Air Portugal 3216.
Let's wait a little longer to reach the optimum top of descent. We could press it right now and you'll see what happens. So our performance, our green dot, is where we should be. We started our descent here. So the performance ball will start to climb. The plane will make the shallow descent, and then we'll try to get back to the performance ball. It only happens if you descend sooner than ideal top of descent, but you can easily override that. It's no big deal. What could happen is we might intercept the optimal descent rate from below. That will mean that we'll plateau our descent a little bit, and then we'll continue descending into performance. So there's no descent checklist. This is our abbreviated checklist, but like I usually say, if you want to confirm what to do, always go through the normal procedures. And over here you should have all the phases of flight, including the descent checklist right there. So you press descent, and there you go, descent checklist. You initiate, then all the procedures. So you go to performance descent, monitor, nothing fancy about it, it's just monitor your descent. Should be managed descent unless you want to change the rate. You can also go to track mode, so press here, you, instead of a flight path vector, you get a flight tracking mode. It's actually a pilot preference. Some companies have it on their SOPs. Most, I think, do not, because again, this is pilot preference. Most fly with heading track because it's simply easier to interpret, and it's easier to fly in flight levels if you know which path you're taking or which direction the flight director is directing you to, because the heading track will tell you to perform. You're basically flying the vertical speed, so you might overshoot altitudes, so might as well not risk that. So let's increase our cockpit floodlight so we can see our stuff better. Let's also turn this to bright. Same on this side. It's just this side here. It's just for a little ambient light. You can also increase your little floodlight to have your pedestal lit up. I activated this a little moment ago. This is the standby compass. So it's a wet compass, purely analog. In case anything happens to my systems, I'll still have the compass to fly cardinal points at least. Plus it's a good mnemonic to know if you're flying east-north, east-west, north or south. So we're on the descent path. Airplane's not doing a good job in keeping itself on the managed speed, but we're still within the brackets. You can barely see the lower bracket. It's still there. You can see the lower bracket, the upper bracket. It's alright. In order to get to the optimal managed speed, we would probably need to increase throttle or thrust. So we might as well save fuel to remain where we are. Plus, as you can see, the performance, the little performance ball will sometimes go up and down, and we need to compensate it, so it might as well be at the lowest speed possible. It should be something like 290 knots. We're at 274 knots, something like that. This is of course indicated airspeed. Alright, we're being handed off to Portugal, so that means we're in Portuguese. Yep, we're in Portuguese territory, so welcome to Portugal. Not long now till we land.
Descending via Upilo Tree Bravo, flight level 284.
Air Portugal 3216, Lisbon Center, radar contact.
Alright, we got only radar contact, no altitude clearances yet, but we will be getting those soon so that we can enter our standard approach. So sorry about that. There we go. So our standard approach today will be Uvold, which is this weird. For those that are familiar with the Portuguese airspace, for Lisbon especially, we now have these approaches for both runway 20, which is this one, and runway 02, we have these half-moon shaped approaches. These allow ATC to maintain traffic separation. You can either go all the way through to the half moon and then turn left and approach, or ATC can clear you directly to the interception point, which is called upcat, if there's no traffic in the air. Now we can see that there's a plane here, and there's a Ryanair plane right up ahead of us. There's not much traffic, but we don't want to interfere with this Ryanair, so we will wait what this plane will do. This one will probably do the half moon the opposite way, so one way will go from right to left at I believe at 8,000 feet, and the other will do the opposite at 7,000 feet. So there's always a separation here. This acts like a holding point, although it's just waiting corridor if you want. So the sun is set. We're gonna have a pretty night landing. Since it's summertime, it's always pleasant. So we're starting our standard instrument arrival procedures, so let's confirm it. Sorry, so it's star, love up. So we're right here. Let me zoom in for you. So we're right here, we're following these charts all the way to what should be upcat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see where this Ryanair that's ahead of us will be doing. Now usually AI traffic beyond ATC, AI traffic doesn't really guide planes as it does us. So 070.
Descend to flight level 070, Air Portugal 3216.
All right. So like I was saying, usually traffic doesn't follow the same procedures. Beyond ATC isn't that smart guarding AI traffic, although it's 50% of the simulation they supply, which is unfortunate. So basically we'll see what this Ryanair would do. If we see that it's heading straight to the upget point, we'll try to call it in. But as I see this aircraft is doing the opposite way, this TAP Portugal, we will probably not be able to make a shortcut. Plus we have another plane on our 6. So actually no, this is yes, it's an Iberia 321, so this plane will probably enter the same flight path, and let's not risk to have a mid-air or something like that. So right now we are at maximum, so what we're going to do, maximum speed within the performance, and we're still not getting our performance ball, which is about 1,000 feet below us. So what we're going to do is this: we're going to open our speed brakes just halfway to help the plane reduce the speed, as well as being able to lower its nose ever so slightly. And you see that we are recovering altitude, so now it's only at 600 feet below, and now it's coming up. Once we reach the performance, the ideal performance ball, we'll retract the speed brakes.
Lisbon Center, radar contact.
So never rush this We are reducing speed, descending. If we try to rush by fully deflecting the speed brakes, we will get a huge performance decrease, and it's not ideal. So let's keep it halfway. Smoothly descending towards the little performance ball, while the plane continues to reduce speed, which is what we intend. Now we're reducing to the first constraint, which will be 230 knots. You can see the Ryanair plane up ahead, still following the same path as we do, but let's see if it does indeed run through the correct procedure. Alright, we are at performance speed. Let's retract our speed brakes. Actually, they are armed. I usually add terrain information on my co-pilot's ND, just in case we fly through some obstacles up ahead. It's not going to be the case. Lisbon Portugal in the Lisbon area is very flat, but still we might get some nasty surprises there.
Air Portugal 9 Hotel Zulu, inbound 3 Bravo, runway 20. Report ready for descent. Inbound 3 Bravo, runway 20 are ready for descent. Air Portugal 9 Hotel Zulu.
So we got
Portugal 9 Hotel Zulu, descend to flight level 250.
we got a first constraint, 230 knots. There it is. It obeyed the constraint. It's going to raise the nose to reduce speed. Again, we can help it ever so slightly. Not too much. Look at that. This is the stall buffet. So if we enter this magenta, sorry, this orange line, we'll get alpha floor protection. The plane will increase thrusts and get a positive nose attitude to get out of the stall. So we don't want to do that. See, it retracts as soon as I retract the speed brakes. It also retracts. This plane just doesn't want us to stall, and it will do anything to prevent that. So here comes that half moon I was talking about. We're going to wait to see what the Ryanair plane does. If it indeed follows the flight path, then we'll do the same, because we don't want to interfere with its approach. Although it looks like it's in co-altitude, it's actually below us. It's at 9,000 feet, so we're well separated from it. But as soon as we enter the threshold, it's about 2,000 feet below. 1,000 feet, I mean. Then we'll start seeing the TCAS system identifying the plane.
Air Portugal 555, Lisbon Center identified.
I really wanted to reduce my speed because I wanted to do its thing. So what's its current speed? We can't really see. 260 knots. I'm pretty sure that's ground speed. So if that's the case, we're almost at ground speed. I think that's either ground speed or true airspeed, not sure. Need to investigate that. Anyway, let's just hope they clear. There it is. It's showing up on my TCAS. 2,500 feet below. So 10,000 feet. Let's turn on the landing lights. So they're a bit too bright, but
Descend to flight level 250
they are powerful LED lights.
Air Portugal 3216, contact Lisbon arrival 125.13.
Contact Lisbon arrival 125.13. Air Portugal
125.13.
Lisbon arrival, Air Portugal 3216. Good evening. Flight level 0902 with information Sierra.
It didn't change here. This
Portugal 3216 Lisbon arrival. QNH 1018 expect ILS runway 20 with the upcut transition.
I've seen this happening before. It doesn't change here.
1018 expect the ILS runway 20 with the
So
upcut
beyond
transition.
ATC has an automated auto radio tune available, and it allows the co-pilot to tune the right radios, but sometimes in this plane it only tunes, I think this is it, 125.13, right? So confirm it. Yeah, 125.13. There's no way I would be hearing his comms if I was tuned like this. So I'm going to do this manually. 1, 2. Oh, see, as soon as I started writing, it changed. This is a bug, if I've ever seen one. So this is a bug.
Air Portugal 1692, contact Lisbon Tower 118.105.
So yeah, so slight bug, not really important. So now we're turning into the banana, as I call it. So this little half moon we got here. There's the Ryanair. He's probably going to make it all the way to the end of this pattern, and so are we. I really don't want it to do this, but I could easily request a shortcut, or ATC could also tell it to shortcut, but this other plane coming from the north will do something like this and then enter this banana as well. So it's like it's going to make a right turn to the sea coastline, and then left turn, and coming into the banana as well, but on the opposite end at, I think, at 8,000 feet, because we are at 7,000 feet. So transition altitude in Portugal is 4,500, and so we'll keep on flying in flight level, so flight level 070. So we're past the second leg of the half moon. At this point, ATC could just call it in, then call us, then call the TAP and the other planes up ahead. But unfortunately, beyond ATC, traffic separation and allocation isn't really that good. They're doing a great job with everything else except for traffic separation. They claim it's on the works, but not right now. So I need to reduce the glare on this panel a little bit. This one as well. It's a bit too bright for my taste. There we go. Now it's a bit too dark. Okay, here we go. We got everything configured, so landing flaps, the lights are set. We're going to turn on the nose to takeoff and the runway turn off once the gear is down. You can actually turn it on now because they will only really lit up once the gear is out. So on the left turn. That's Alverca. That's Montijo, an airbase. Alverca is also, it's more or less an airbase, but it also does civilian aircraft maintenance. There's a lot of maintenance hangars there. And then we'll have Lisbon Airport somewhere over there. It's one of those. Hey Andrew, how are you? How you doing, Andrew? I'm gonna try to request a direct to UPCAT.
Air Portugal 3216, request directive fix.
Air Portugal 3216, roger, say fix name.
Let's see if it allows me to pick the one I want, which is UPCAT.
Request direct to UPCAT, Air Portugal 3216.
Come on.
Portugal 3216.
Nah.
I'm your flight plan right now. Unable direct UPCAT at this time.
He's not letting me because of that Ryanair plane. Let's try Arnett then, which is the one just
Portugal 3216, request
just
direct
aft,
fix.
just before UPCAT.
Air Portugal 3216, roger, say fix name.
Arnett. Let's see. Let's see. Arnett.
Request direct to Arnett, Air Portugal 3216.
Air Portugal 3216.
Yes.
Direct to Arnett.
Affirmative, Air Portugal 3216.
Let's go.
Air Portugal 3216, roger, clear direct to Arnett.
Sorry, Ryanair. Taking a shortcut.
Air Portugal 3216.
Air Portugal 3216, descend to 3,000 feet, QNH 1018.
Send 3000.
Descend to 3,000 feet, QNH 1018, Air Portugal 3216.
QNH. As soon as we pass the transition at 4,500, we'll go for QNH 1018. So let's turn on the landing system.
699 Golf, descend to 3,000 feet, QNH 1018.
Descent to 3,000 feet. QNH 1018, Ryanair 699 Golf.
Actually, this could be a problem here. Should have turned earlier, because now we are at co-altitude and converging. That's not good. Maybe I can be faster than him. We'll stay on this airspeed for now, until we need to reduce to 180. It's already white filled, so it's becoming a problem, but we'll deal with it. It's a bridge we'll cross once we reach it, as the English say. No, Andrew, don't mistake stubbornness with dedication. Or is it the other way around? Don't mistake dedication with stubbornness. Either way, it's more stubbornness than dedication, to be honest. Alright.
Lisbon arrival,
1018. 1018. So let's go for the, we no longer need a chart, so this is what we're going to do. Let's go for the checklists. So approach checklist, barrel reference 1018 and cross check. Seatbelts are on. Minimum set to 200. Auto brake, let's set to medium. Set. Engine mode selected as required. It's set as normal. Approach checklist complete. So we're holding at 4,000 feet because that's the constraint. We need to cross upgat at or above 4,000 and then we can descend to top VI. Alright, speed check flaps 1. Let's help the plane decelerate. Not too much because we want to stay ahead of this Ryanair. Alright, there we go. I think we are clear to upgat. We're not yet cleared for upgat, but we're flying towards it, and if we weren't... There we go. Actually, the constraints say 4,000 feet, so...
Cleared direct upcat. Cross upcat at or above 3,000 feet. Cleared ILS.
What's it doing?
Air Portugal 3216.
What are you doing?
Lisbon arrival. Ryanair 376 Juliet. Flight level 0908. We have tango.
Ryanair 376 Juliet, Lisbon arrival.
There we go.
H1018, expect ILS runway 20.
It's always scary when it does that. So you can see the little clouds.
Expect the ILS runway 20 with the upcut.
That's Alverca.
76 Juliet.
Lisbon is somewhere over there. Let's turn on the approach. And we are intercepting light slope before we intercept the localizer. That's because we're not lined up yet. There's Lisbon, right there.
Ryanair 699 Golf, 3 miles from upcat. Turn right, heading 220. Maintain 3,000 feet until established. Cleared ILS runway 20.
That was a good move to overtake the Ryanair.
Turn right, heading 220, 3,000 feet until established.
Alright, we just had a...
Runway 20, Ryanair 699 Golf.
Alright, let's slow down. Speed check flaps 2. And as soon as we're established, we'll call it in. We're not yet established. Alright, let's bring up our...
Portugal 3216, contact Lisbon Tower 118.105.
Over to tower 118.105.
switching to tower.
216.
Alright, this is our approach plate.
Lisbon Tower, Air Portugal 3216. ILS runway 20.
4,000 feet descending on top VI confirmed. Our decision height is 200 feet, also confirmed. Clear to land.
Runway 20 cleared to land. Air Portugal 3216.
Alright, speed check flaps 3. Let's get our gear down in a moment. Once it's stable. There we go. Gear down. Let's get our spoilers to arm position. Landing gear is coming down. Gear down 3 green. Autopilot is coming off. Cool. We got a crosswind from the right. Should get a GPWS warning. Nothing serious. Can see my inputs are minimal. Outer marker. We're coming a little low on the glide path. Nothing serious.
One thousand.
1000 check. We're going above the glide path, coming down to get it. It's not overcorrected too much. Just slightly. Cabin's ready. Landing checklist. TCAM status. No blow. Continue.
Terrain. Terrain.
There's the GPWS warning.
Terrain.
It's absolutely expected. Runway 20. I'm having some bumps here. Not sure what's going on, but
400. 100 above. 200 minimum.
continue.
100.
Whoa, what are you doing? Hey. What just happened? What just happened? Oh
50,
my.
40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
There's always something happening. All the freaking time. It just suddenly accelerated. It just accelerated. Out of nowhere. Seriously. Something always happens. It just departed. I mean, I don't know what to say. I should have gone around or something, but I'm really pissed. Really pissed.
Runway 20 clear to land. Ryanair 699 Golf.
I don't know what to say.
Air Portugal 3216, contact ground 121.755, bye-bye.
Yeah, contact ground.
Ground 121.755, Air Portugal 3216, bye-bye.
I can never get this right, can I?
Air Portugal 3216, request taxi to allocated gate.
Air Portugal 3216, the round 222 taxi via Papa, Lima 1 and Lima 2, Mike 3 Echo.
Ram 222 via Papa, Lima 1, Lima 2, Mike 3, Echo, Air Portugal 3216.
What's going on? to perform our... Yeah, I know. So I got hot brakes.
699 Golf, ramp 301, taxi via Hotel 1, Uniform 2, Uniform 1.
Single engine taxi.
Ramp 301 via Hotel 1, Uniform 2, Uniform 1, Ryanair.
There's always something, Andrew. Always something. I can never get to land normally at any airport out there. There's always something happening. There's always some bug, some weird, stupid thing happening. All I want is to fly normally. I don't like to have these mishaps happening all the time. Last time was well, there's always something. They either crosswinds out of nowhere or these weird events, bugs, stupid things like GSX bugging out. Now I had this weird acceleration out of nowhere. I didn't touch my throttle as I just had my hands on it, but all of a sudden it started accelerating like crazy. All I wanted was to retard the levers once I landed. Really sad. I am sad. I'm not pissed. I'm just sad that things can't work out normally like ever. I made a long landing. I should have gone around, but after all this time flying, I don't like... I mean, if it was a pilot mistake, then I would own it and go around. If it was a traffic on the runway, I would own it and go around just like I did yesterday with, or the other day with Ryanair 737, but when I know it's not my fault and now I have a disagree. Alright, we're number 4 on this line of planes here. There's a TAP Portugal, Wizz Air, Transavia, and then us. This is us. Let's turn in. Gate 222. And of course VDGS is not working. Typical. I'm really tired of all this. Little bug, there it is. Woke. Thanks for waking up. Alright, stop. Parking brake set. Engine switch to off. Let's hit the chocks. Request deboarding. So I think we got here more or less on time. So one thing I need to improve is the timings of everything. On the blocks 2051, we got 2 hours and 52 minutes of flight out of Rome. Still waiting for the deboarding to commence.
Passenger's bus is coming.
Yeah, this is a remote platform, so it needs a bus. So yeah, welcome to Lisbon. I don't remember the last time I had a normal landing. A normal, smooth, uneventful landing. And my apologies for that. I really wanted this to be a learning channel, but I'm constantly... What are you talking about? This happens a lot. Why can't I get my GPU to be connected? Connected. Thank you. And now I can turn this freaking...
Passengers, the boarding started.
Alrighty. Alright, this plane won't go anywhere, so we're securing it. So running the parking checklist, parking brake at shock set, engines are off, wing lights are off, and fuel pumps are also off. Parking checklist complete, securing the aircraft, oxygen is off, emergency exit to off. And electronic flight baggage and batteries will stay on for the time being, so yeah, so we can turn off the batteries, just not the AFBs. Anyway, my god, what an awful landing we had today. Really, really bad. Not sure what happened. I need to check my calibrations for my thrusts. Can clearly see that there's something fishy going on with these thrust levers. Need to confirm exactly what it is. Let's check our wheels. Still a little hot, especially this one. These left brakes. Anyway, thank you for coming. I sincerely hope I can make it better next time, but till then, thank you for your company. Thank you for everybody that left a like. Not many. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Passengers bus is coming. Passengers deboarding starting.